Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wolfgang Bethge speaking from the University Hospital of Tübingen in Germany. I am Deputy Medical Director of our Department of Hematology Oncology, and I'm also leading and heading the Transplantation and Cellular Therapy Unit of our hospital. At the recent EBMT meeting, I was able to present real-world data on the use of approved CAR T-cell products within Germany on behalf of the German Lymphoma Alliance and the German Stem Cell Registry. It's very interesting to study real-world data since the setup of the pivotal study is somewhat as artificial in comparison to real-world therapies where patient needs and patient conditions may differ significantly. We collected 267 patients in this registry-based retrospective study, all treated either with tisa-cel or axi-cel as the currently approved CAR T-cell products available in Germany. And the most astonishing finding of this analysis was that our progression-free survival with these two constructs was about 10 to 20% inferior to what have been reported by the pivotal studies. What are the reasons for that? The main reasons for the inferior results in real world might be especially patient selection for these constructs. We saw that we have more heavily pretreated patients with a higher tumor burden and more refractory status to preceding therapy than in the approval studies, especially the performance status of our patients and the number of lines of therapy until actually the CAR T-cell therapy was applied to these patients were much higher. Furthermore, most patients needed bridging therapy prior CAR T-cell lymphodepletion therapy, which was not used in all of the pivotal studies. For instance, in the ZUMA-1 study, no bridging therapy was allowed. This all led to a worse patient selection in real world with patients in higher therapeutic need, but also in worse disease status than in the approval trials. This might explain that we have a higher relapse incidence after CAR T-cell therapy and also somewhat more treatment-related mortality in this patient cohort. In particular, late infectious events were some reasons for late therapy-related deaths. So close monitoring of the patients for infections, in particular viral and fungal infections, is necessary, even up to 1 year after CAR T-cell therapy. We saw that patients obtaining CR to CAR T-cell therapy have not that much of a worse prognosis. So our progression-free survival in this cohort almost approached 50%, even after 1 year after CAR T-cell therapy. So in particularly defining the patient cohort who has the best score or a prospect to obtain a CR after CAR T-cell therapy might be of particular importance in further studies. We saw a lot of relapses, in particular in the tisa-cel group, which again might be a matter of patient selection and not so much the responsibility of the product used. In the tisa-cel group, the CAR T-cell or the apheresis product is allowed to be cryopreserved prior starting bridging therapy, and therefore the patient selection in this cohort is a much more heavily pretreated patient cohort at more advanced patient stages with a higher need for bridging therapy and a lower performance status, not allowing to wait for a fresh product to be scheduled for CAR T-cell production. So In particular, this product is a collection of patients at higher risk for disease progression or relapse. But still, after obtaining a CR in consequence of the CAR T-cell therapy, outcomes even in the tisa-cel group were equivalent to what we saw in the axi-cel cohort. So we will need further studies, especially in prospective trials, and define perhaps risk scores to more precisely predefine patients who actually benefit from CAR T-cell therapy even in the real-world setting. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to be contacted by email or phone if there are any questions concerning this registry data.